Hey, Justin Chamness here, Real Estate Wholesalers Club. It's me and Cody today. Cody's with me almost all the time. You guys have seen her in my videos a lot, but Cody's one of my dogs. I got two dogs, and Cody's kind of a special dog because from the minute that the family brought her home, she ran in the front door. I was at home, and she found me and sat on my foot and has been stuck to me like glue since. A very special dog, and she was a puppy. She's still only about 2 years old. So just a young, loyal friend and companion, very tight. So she hardly leaves my side. It's an interesting thing. So me and Cody here with you today, and we're here to talk about closing those deals with the homeowners. Okay, guys, that's what it's all about. If you want to get leads, you can get leads. And I've told you stories where I've produced leads, like a lot of leads, and then just sat there and looked at them. Maybe you are similar. Maybe you have a similar story. You can get leads pretty easily today. We talk about how to do it all the time. But then how do you convert these leads? Well, we've taken an entire week this week to role play with the VIP members over in our VIP room, which is, you can find more about that at realestatewholesalersclub.com. Okay, go check us out over there. These are members from the VIP all week, and we've been role playing. And today I really want to focus really specifically on the third or the final stage of the conversation, which is the closing. Okay, the closing is important because that's where you really will get a deal or not get a deal. The first part is the agenda part. That's where you set the roadmap. You introduce yourself, set the roadmap, and then you move on from there into the qualification section, and you ask some questions. You find out about their motivation level. You find out what their need is, what their greed is, perhaps, and you determine what type of offer you will want to make to this homeowner. Then in the third and the final section, I'll break this down for you. It's the closing section, but this is where you recap. Okay, what are you recapping or reviewing? You're reviewing their motivation. You're reviewing their story. Okay, you're taking a second to bond with them and acknowledge everything that they've told you so far about their situation, and then you propose a solution, okay, which is your offer. Now, how do you do that? You do that by asking. Okay, so yesterday in the role play, I was talking about always be closing. Well, that is an old school phrase, and it's still true today in the closing section. Okay, you don't have to be closing them always throughout the qualification and the agenda. Those are a little more laid back, conversational, human, and you want to bond a little bit inside there too. But then in the closing section, you're going to review, you're going to offer to solve, right? And you do that by asking questions. You're going to close them by asking questions. So that's what I say, always be closing. I'm talking about in this closing section. All right. And we were talking about this. How do you do this? How do you get how do you ask these questions and close? And we were practicing that a little bit yesterday, but I really want to practice this a lot more focused today. I have about 30 minutes, so I don't have as much time today as I have the other days this week, but I do want to just tackle this closing section. All right. I want to role play. We got Mark Twain. We got Mark Twain on the call here.
Hello,
by the way, hey, good to meet you. Good to see you, Mark Twain.
Thank you.
I love some of your writings.
Thank you. Huckleberry says hi.
Yeah. Well, hello. If you guys want to put comments in the chat, you can on Facebook or YouTube, and I'll add them to the screen. Let's make it interactive. You can ask some questions and things like that. But like I was saying, Mark, I really wanted to practice this closing department. I think the agenda, you can memorize that. You can practice that up, driving your car or with your spouse or somebody, a friend. The qualification sections, if you know what questions you're going to ask, that's pretty straightforward. The bonding section in there is probably the toughest part to learn if you're unfamiliar with that. These are all things, guys, by the way, that we do talk about in a course that we offer over at realestateWholesalersClub.com. It's a Mastering the Phone course. All right. It's super, super accessible for you. So go check us out over there. But there's the bonding, all that. But so pretty straightforward with the agenda and the qualification section. We get to the closing section. We want to review. We want to offer to solve a problem. And we also want to continue to ask questions when it comes to their, which is notoriously, they're going to have stalls, objections, and they're going to have questions, right? Now, how do you deal with those things? Always be closing, right? How do you always be closing in this section? Well, with their stalls, objections, and questions, you answer those with questions. I know that sounds confusing maybe, but me and Mitch will demonstrate here. So let's role play a little bit in this closing section. I'm going to be a scenario for you.
Can I be the homeowner? It's that way you can show the skills.
Yeah, that's fine. You can be the homeowner this time, and then we'll swap and go back to the other direction, or maybe we'll bring Dre in and he can role play. We're just working on the closing section right now, Dre. So I'm going to create a scenario where, actually, you just create a scenario, Mark, and you be the homeowner, and we'll go for it. Let's say you're on a motivation scale of 1 to 10. You're somewhere around a 6. Okay. Let's just play that way, because you're not hot and heavy, but you're not cold and frozen either. All right. Okay. So, that way maybe we can get some objections. You got to throw some objections and questions and stalls at me. Okay. All right. Mr. Homeowner, I've heard your story, and it seems like I understand you're kind of in a situation where you want to move. Perhaps you even feel like you need to move because your situation, your wife has moved or something. You got to catch up with her, whatever the story was. We're just jumping right into the closing here. And, unfortunately, like I said, I'm a real estate investor, and at the very beginning of the call, I'm looking for my next property deal, and I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to make a profit if I give you cash for what your asking price is here today. So,
well, what do you mean by that? How much can you give me? You saw the properties listed for, I had it on Zillow for 300. We think it's worth about 325. What's your best offer? Cash offer. If we're going to go cash.
Well, cash offer. It's a pretty house. It looks nice. It's
Nice.
really not going to need any repairs, you say. So you're asking 300, and that's about what it's worth, right? So, I really would not like to make a cash offer here, because I don't feel like that's going to be a good fit for you if I make a cash offer, and what you're looking for is probably not going to be a good fit for me. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to honestly just take that completely off the table, Mark, and and just call it done. And now with that being over, we can kind of take a breath but before I go, I wanted to ask you a question real quick.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you would have considered if I would have offered, let's say, to let me think here. Yeah, if I gave you the full 300,000 you're looking for, and I was able to do that within 24 months, would you allow me to make payments to you in the meantime that would cover, what you need and so on and so forth? Is that something we could talk about, or maybe not?
So let me make sure I understand. You will get me the full 300. It won't be today. It would be in 2 years, correct?
Yeah, I'm not going to beat you up on price, but that's exactly what I'm asking. Is that something that you would consider, or maybe not?
Yeah, I'd like to learn a little bit more about that. But what I really need is I need some walking money. I need some money in my pocket to get on to my next gig.
Okay, see, time out, guys. Now he's throwing some questions and objections and some caveats to things at me. So now how am I going to respond? I'm going to respond with always be closing these questions. These questions. What kind of money are we talking about, Mark?
You know, my wife and I, we got to get a new place. We're moving to Oklahoma, and you know, she's got to get a new car. We got to put a down payment down. We're looking at about 20,000. You know, we ran some numbers with that. That would pretty much get us there. Pay off some bills, get a fresh start, get some toilet paper, some pizzas.
Yeah. You know, it sounds like we have a deal here, Mark. Except
Really?
that, yeah, if you're willing to do that, except that number's pretty big for me.
Really, a big successful real estate investor like you?
Well, you know, it's kind of a deal to deal thing, and if I go that deep on cash, it's gonna make the deal so tight for me. I don't know if I can win, and I'd like to win too. I want you to win. So, can we come up with something a little more reasonable for both of us, or is that a deal breaker?
How high can you go?
Well, I don't really,
you know.
Well, I don't want to, you know, I don't want to try to give you a haircut here or anything. I just, you know, if there's something better that can you come down?
Where do you need me to be?
Could we go halfsies on that? Could we split it in half?
You're gonna get the U-Haul. You're gonna put my down payment on my car down. I don't know if I could do. 10,000 is not gonna get me into that new place.
Okay. Well, what would get you into the new place?
I have to talk to the wife, but you know, I want to be flexible. You know, we want to get this thing done. We got to get out of here in 30 days. So I'm not going to be penny wise and pound foolish about it. You know, we could probably do about 15.
Okay, 15.
Does that help you out a bit?
And that's the best we can do, Mark?
Well, I just gave you a big concession. Help me out here.
Yeah. If I were to put down on the paperwork, just like what we've talked about today, and I put down there 12,500 and send it over to you, is that something that you and the wife would strongly consider?
It's pretty close. Yeah. You know, if you said 15, I'd say, yeah, let's talk, but all right, 12,000, we're going to do some more considering, but that's one piece of it. I want to learn about this. How do I get that 300 in 2 years? Tell me about that. Let's put the down payment on the side. 12, 15, yep. We're close.
Okay. All right. So you want to back up and talk about the deal. I understand that, man. How do you get to 300,000? Just like any other, what we'll do is we'll fill out a purchase agreement for 300,000 and we'll set the date out that far. And then we'll have a lease agreement that'll stand in the meantime. Does that make sense? And does that sound comfortable for you?
So you're going to move into the property and live there?
Oh, no. Like I said, I'm a real estate investor. I'm looking for my next investment property. So what I want to do is I want to put some really good people in there, and I'm going to make a little money eventually, but I also want this to be a win for you. Is that something that seems reasonable, or is that a deal breaker for you?
So let me make sure I understand this. You're not going to live there. I'm going to lease it to you, and you're going to lease it to someone else. So basically, you're going to sublet the property.
Well, yes, that's one way of saying it. Sure. Is that an issue, or?
Well, here's my concern. I know you. You seem like a pretty decent guy.
Well, thank you.
I could be wrong.
I like you too, Mark. You seem like an old school guy to me too, and
I've been around a couple hundred years.
I bet outside of business, you and I could really be friends over a beer or something, man.
You, me, and Huckleberry would have a great time.
Yep.
So here's my concern. You seem like a good guy. I've heard about you. You got a lot of good YouTube videos. You got like 1,000 people on your YouTube, right?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. So, but I don't know who you're putting in the house. You could be putting some meth heads in there. So how do I know my house is not going to be trashed?
Well, because you're asking us to put $15,000 into it. That's why.
That's a good point.
But how about this? If I were to put down on the contract 12,500, and I was also going to put in the contract that you would have the ability to wadai my potential, you could disqualify or qualify them too. I'm not going to do this without you knowing. You can be in the driver's seat. If I put all that in the paperwork and send that over, is that something that feels more comfortable to you and the missus maybe?
Yeah, that feels good. So at the end, what happens in month 25?
Month 25. Yeah. Well, you shouldn't be owning the house in month 25 because we'll be buying the property in 24 months or less. So
got it. Now, in terms of the lease, the monthly payment, how do we figure that?
well, that's a great question. What is a comfortable monthly for you? I don't know what your mortgage payment is, but what do you have to cover?
I've got a mortgage payment of $1,000. My taxes and insurance are another $200. So we're looking at $1,200. So it's got to be at least that.
Okay, 1,200. Excellent. That's definitely within the market rent for the neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
You feel like that fits the neighborhood pretty well?
Well, but also since I'm basically financing you, what kind of an interest rate you're going to give me?
A $300,000 house, a $1,200 a month payment's pretty cheap, Mark. So we can put a little money there on the monthly rent for you. Would $1,500 a month feel more comfortable for you?
Yeah, that feels pretty good. That feels pretty good.
I could totally pull that off. Yep.
Who takes care of the maintenance? So if the toilet breaks, who gets the phone call?
Yep. If I were to put it in the contract that we take care of all of that, except for any major system that goes down, if all the routine stuff, the toilet, the dishwasher, anything like that, but if the roof caves in, that's an insurance issue and you'll have to be involved. But if I put that in the contract today, are we ready to go? Because I think we got a deal here, Mark.
Yeah, we're getting close. So I'm still the owner. So the insurance stays in my name and I get the tax benefits. Is that correct? I'm still paying the mortgage?
Yep, absolutely. You get all the tax benefits and everything. Yeah.
All right. It seems pretty good.
Okay. Excellent. I was hoping you'd say so. So I would like to send this agreement over to you just with everything we have to say in it. And if I do, and you feel comfortable with it, do you feel like we have a deal and we can move forward?
Yeah. What I'd like you to do, I'd like to get the contract and then get on a phone with you and my wife later today, maybe about 7:30 tonight.
Yep.
Have you explain some of this to her. I'm sure she'll have a whole bunch of questions.
I would love to start this entire process over from scratch tonight at 7:30 with your wife because she's the true decision maker.
You know her, don't you?
I would never say that to a homeowner, but that's what I'm thinking.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate your transparency and your honesty about that.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Sounds like we got a deal at 7:30. If everything feels good and fits and it's comfortable and all that, and she understands and everybody's in agreement, right? Okay. I'll get this over to you. We'll take care of it this evening at 7:30. Sounds good. Talk to you then. Bye-bye. Click. All right, guys.
You didn't do the what happens then. Good.
No, I didn't, but I kind of did. I asked him if at tonight, if everything's a fit and it feels good, we have a deal, right? And he said yes. So
yeah,
that was pretty close.
When you go like, what was that? And then,
I thought about it. I didn't get a real hard answer out of him though. He's still a little wishy-washy, but I think I can close him tonight at 7:30. I really do.
I have a question. You said 10, 12, 15 down. What is that?
Yeah, in other words, he's got a $300,000 property, okay? And so it wouldn't be uncommon to get a $20,000 or $25,000 or $30,000 even down payment from a tenant buyer for this one. It's a very, very –
I thought we were getting 5% option fees.
Well, you sometimes do. Yeah.
That's $15,000.
Yeah, you sometimes do. You get a 3% or a 5%, but you try to shoot for 10,
Really?
So, yeah. Oh. Yeah, you try to shoot for 10. So in 10 would be 30,000.
Yeah.
So I could probably piece off 12,500 to the homeowner and keep the balance of whatever I end up getting. If I got 20 or 25, I'm still going to make a nice check.
Yeah, I get that, but what kind of people really drop $30,000 to rent a house and then they'll leave after 2 years?
No, they're doing a lease option.
Yeah, they want to buy the property.
Those
are serious.
They're serious.
Yeah.
30K, man. Oh.
Because you got to remember, these people either don't have the 20% for a mortgage or their credit is like a 500 FICO, so they're not going to get a bank loan. You're basically financing them and helping them for 3 years or 5 years to clean up their credit and save the rest of the money for a full down payment for a conventional loan.
Right, but okay. At the end, let's say their credit doesn't get fixed but they circumstances change, they leave. Right, they don't buy. We just told Mark that they were going to buy your house in 24 months. Now Mark's mad. He's in another state. This guy, the tenant left. He's still got this property. He thought it was going to be sold. What happens then?
You mean if the guy doesn't buy?
At the end of the 24 months,
Yeah, that's a great question, Mr. Homeowner. If he's not in a position to buy, if something's happened with the economy or his economy or what have you, and he's not able to buy, then basically you are not required to sell him the home. You can either continue to rent it to him, or you can evict him, or you can, extend his ability to buy it until he can qualify. There will be some renegotiation that will need to take place, but if he's still there in the 24th month and he hasn't bought yet, chances are he still wants to buy. He may just need another 90 days or something like that. And so does that seem like an unreasonable event if that were to happen? And could you not maybe extend it for 90 days in the worst case scenario?
Okay. Yeah.
Just something like that,
Justin, I guess another option is if tenant buyer number one fails, you could bring in tenant buyer number two, take another $15,000, give it to the homeowner, and maybe they do another 2-year term.
Yeah, Mr. Homeowner, if something happens and grandma gets sick in Montana and they have no options but to move, I'll be right here again. Just let me know, and I'll bring somebody else to take their place, and we'll also piece off some money from them to help make you whole in anything that happened during that. So does that seem reasonable to you? That's what I'll say. I say that a lot, guys. That's something that does come up. It does come up.
Uh-huh.
For a motivated seller, though, it's not that big of a deal. I have many, many times sold the same house more than once. Yeah. So the tenant buyer backed out. The tenant buyer moved, whatever had to happen. I don't know. They're gone. And I go in and vacuum the carpet, wipe down the countertops and the cabinets, and put it back on the market, get another 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 grand, something like that, whatever it was. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Yeah, actually, I like it. I like it when a tenant buyer doesn't buy. It gives me a shot at doing another deal. It's like a freebie.
Yeah. All right. That's good.
I get to double dip the same deal twice. Yeah, but it's not so much fun when you're a sandwich guy, though. When you're sandwiched in and you're eating payments and stuff, that's horrible. And that's why you want to do a great job at finding your tenant buyer. You take every guy that comes in and just says, "Hey, I got some money down. I'm ready to move in," and you want that money so bad, you're like, "Yeah."
You just get in there. I'm not. When I get to that, once I get a person to say yes. So I got another question, Justin. Batista and Tusi, they helped me out and they got me reset up with REI Automator. So I'm gonna get some more numbers. 50 messages a day. Do that sort of thing. But I was going through my old or the first batch of text messages, and I did get like 3 maybes or like not no's essentially. And I was curious what your process is from that text conversation to getting them on the phone.
Yeah, they'll text back and they'll say maybe or
Maybe,
yes,
yeah,
or which property, or I'm not sure. Can we talk? Whatever their response is, doesn't matter. I'm always going to use the machine to text them back, and I'll say something like, "Great, is there a good time this afternoon? We can chat for a few minutes." And then I'll just set up an appointment with them, and I'll say, "Okay, then I'll be calling you from this number. It's my cell or whatever." You know what I mean? That's it. It's real
perfect. I texted a little too much, or not too much, but I didn't drive it with that. And I think the 3 maybe forgot. I can't even get to respond back to me now. All right. But that's helpful. Thank you.
A lot of times we just overthink stuff. Like I was telling Mark Twain this morning that, like the dumber you can make this, the better you'll be. Really, you know what I mean? Like, don't overthink it. It's just like So, and that's just kind of factually and actually the way that it is. I mean, look at me. You know, I'm about as bright as a 30-watt light bulb, you know, but look, I'm doing it, you know. So don't try to, you know, be extra ingenious with things, because you really just end up screwing yourself up. And I'm the master of that. You know, I've done that so many times. But I got a lot of questions here, guys. Somebody's burning up the chat here. Let's see what they are. Current situations. Any questions like, are you behind on payments? How far behind? Yeah, sure. You know, sometimes that comes up. And then that kind of does change the game a little bit, because you have to wonder, you know, can I get a tenant buyer that'll, or a buyer that'll help? Can I catch them up, you know, or how do I put this deal together? You have to be creative. It's creative real estate. If the down payment request is just too high after going back and forth, and at what time do you just walk? Well, when I realize they won't do it, I'll just say something like this. Say, you know, Mark, I can't do the 20,000. You got to have 20,000 in cash. Boy, I really wish there was something I could do to get you to be a little more reasonable with me on that, because I really was. I thought we had a deal here, and I like you. You know, you're a good old guy, and you know, I think we could really be good for each other. But I just can't do it. Is this over, Mark? I'm gonna make him tell me it's fucking over, right? I'm going to make him try to run me off. That's really my point. So once he says it's over, you know, yeah, I got to have the 20K. Then I may follow up with him and put him in my follow-up bin. Okay. But if I can't make the numbers don't work, the numbers don't work, guys. You know what I mean? There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
But I will try to play a little guilt trip on a guy like that. Okay. Are you doing all your rent potential homework before making this call? So, you know, guys, get good at typing with your right hand and holding the phone with your left hand, or putting them on speaker. You know, get PropStream or rentometer.com, either one, and then just type the address in while you're there on the phone with the guy or gal, and then take a quick glance at the numbers while you're there. You know, and I know it's hard because you have to multitask a little bit, and you guys are thinking about what to say and how to say it, but practice this a little bit. It's like driving a stick shift. Okay. All right. If the seller, I thought you said the seller wants, it's Friday. 10K down. The house price to seller is 200K. Then he would try to get 15K down so you could keep 5K up front. Yeah. That's exactly right. You got it right, Mr. Thinker. You've thought about that correctly. So, okay. Yep, let's do this. Who's next? We've got to role play some more. What's happening?
I'm going to take a quick phone call. I'll be right back, guys.
Okay, he's got to take a phone call. Tim, what's happening, man?
Hello. Hey, how are you guys?
Man, I'm doing good.
Good.
You're inside today.
I'm headed outside right now.
There you
Here we go.
Are you ready to role play, man?
I'm ready.
Dre, are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Then let's do it. Who wants to volunteer to be first up at bat, and who wants to pitch?
Tim, you can pick what you want.
I'll be the
like the NFL. I'm going to flip a coin. Heads or tails?
no. I'll be the caller.
Okay, I'll be homeowner.
Okay.
Okay,
I'll-
sounds good. You guys take off. Y'all want to just do the closing section, or you want to start from scratch and do the agenda?
Yeah, we can do the closing. Would be great for me. We just need a little setup on what's going on.
Okay, set him up.
So we got a lease option. How did we get to the closing?
Okay, what's your motivation level, Dre, on a scale of 1 to 10?
5.
He's a 5, so you need to ask more questions. That's what 5 means.
Yeah.
You don't know enough. Okay, but he's not necessarily motivated, but he's not necessarily unmotivated. You know enough about the house to know it's a pretty house deal. You could do a lease option on it. Let's say the value is $250,000. It's worth $250,000. He's asking $250,000, and the neighborhood rent would be comfortable somewhere around $1,800 a month.
Okay.
Okay. and action.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for all that information, Dre. You know, it sounds good. I think that we can probably get that price. What you're asking is fair. When were you looking to get this place sold?
Yesterday.
Yesterday? Okay. Yeah, I understand. All right. Well, that sounds good. I think we can help you out here. Now, I'm a little unclear on. I'm a little unclear on. Did I lose you guys? Okay, I'm a little unclear on what you what would prevent you today from signing the documents, though.
What would prevent me from signing the documents?
Yeah. Is there anything holding you back from signing some paperwork today? If I can get you $250 for your property and $18 a month.
Well, I guess I'm just concerned that I would really prefer to have the cash now, the $250 now, not 2 years now. So can you do anything about that?
Yeah. So again, I think you had mentioned before why you were considering selling, but if you could go over that a little bit more, maybe I can help you out.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we're moving back to Kentucky.
He's a 5, so you got to do this, Tim. Right? He's a 5. He's on the fence. You don't know to kick him off or kick him on. So you got to kind of dig back into it. So good point, Tim. Way to tie in there.
Yeah, moving back to Kentucky, we got some land out there, and we want to build on it. My husband, my husband has retired, and we want to farm some goats out in Kentucky. Maybe get into cabbage. I've been a big cabbage person, so I'd like to farm some cabbage. Yeah, and basically we're done with Georgia, so yeah, we're ready to go. Okay.
Well, yeah, goats and cabbage sounds like a great mix. You could feed your extra cabbage to the goats, and I'm all about it. That sounds fantastic. Now, I know the goat farming, you got to get started on that here with the seasons. So I understand why you need to get that cash up front to get the goat operation going. In particular, how much money do you think it would take to get that goat farming going?
I mean, well, first we got to relocate. So there's all the relocation fees, the moving fees. I'm going to be driving us out there. I'm going to be driving me and John out there. We're not hiring any movers or anything. So one, getting out there is going to be a couple $1,000, $5,000, $6,000, and then just to get the operation up and running, we got to get the goats, and I would say a ballpark number that I needed.
He's got to get his goat.
Ballpark number that I need, I would say at least what, $250? All right, yeah. I mean, do you have 25? You got 20, 25?
20, 25 grand. Well, hey, I appreciate all the information. Thanks. And the reason I ask, I just want to make sure I can create a solution that works for you. I think we're there, no problem. Just need to get a little more specific. So what I'm hearing is if I can get you 20 though, is going to be tough. Gosh, if I can get you 10,000 today, will that be enough to get you going on your operation, get you moved out there? We can take care of these monthly payments and get this wrapped off the books for you, get it off your hands.
Yeah, I mean 10K. Yeah, I'm interested, but I understand you're not going to be living in the house, right?
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. So what I'm hearing though is if I can get 10 for you today, and we can get you that 250 total in a couple of years, get you that monthly of 1,800. You be ready to sign the paperwork today?
Well, hold up, slow down. I'm a little concerned because this is a house that me and my husband, we've been living in for 15 years, and it sounds like you're not going to be the one living in the property. And while I'm okay with that, I don't know how comfortable I am with a stranger living in my house.
No, absolutely. I can totally appreciate that, Dre. I've done this myself, and I think the thing to be careful of is getting those right tenants. But let me reassure you that you're going to be in complete control of the whole process. We're going to let you vet, and you can say no or yes to these individuals. We want to make sure that you feel really comfortable about who we have in there. Full background check, full screening that they pay for. So you're going to be in the driver's seat. Now, with all that being said, is that something that you're still interested in, or probably not?
No, yeah, I guess I'm interested. I'm interested.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the goats are calling, so.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. Got to get those goats going for sure. The time is now. So, all right. Well, I think we've got all the information we need. I'm going to go ahead and draft this paperwork now. If I send that over to you today, is there any reason why we couldn't do business today?
No. I mean, well, I got to take a look at the documents.
Yeah, of course. No.
Yeah,
Take as much time as you need. I'll tell you what, I'll send those over now. Is 3 hours enough time for you to review that, and we can get back on a call to discuss things?
Yeah. 3 hours from now? Yeah, sure.
Great. All right, perfect. Well, Dre, what I'm going to do is send those over right now. Your email address, I've got it here, 123@gmail. And I'll set a follow-up call for 7 o'clock in 3 hours. So thank you very much for your time. Reach out if you have any questions, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks, Tim.
Hey, thank you.
Hot damn. Listen to Tim. That dude has come a long way, man. I'd let you sell anything.
Thanks, Justin.
You are getting dangerous. Man, that's good. Good job. You kept tying him down with questions and questions and questions. And every time you ask a question and he answered, you tightened the rope and until you got him so close that you could feel his breath on your neck almost. You know what I mean? Like you're right there, like we got a deal. That's how you do it. Awesome job. Great.
Thank you.
Wonderful job. You've come a long way. I'm proud of you, man.
Thank you.
What do you think, Drake? Any comments or opinions on anything he could have done, taken a different direction? Anything?
I think there's at one point where, and I think if we had actually done the beginning rapport building, and maybe I wouldn't have felt it, but there was definitely a point where it felt like you were pushing my person, where I don't think you were really like internalizing what exactly what I was saying, because you could feel the deal was close. So you were just like, so yeah. If we do this and we do that, we'll be good. And then I was like, wait. And then you're like, well, if we do this, because you were trying to close, and I was like, well, hold up. So and I said hold up at one point, but that was just
yeah. That's a good point.
I agree.
But we didn't have the qualification section where the bonding would have taken place. So, yeah.
I kind of took that for granted, that it was already kind of established. But no, that is definitely a fair point. I think the other day I had the same issue where didn't establish a good connection.
You did all business, man. You were just ready to. You were just like you had a tiger by its tail, and you weren't gonna let go. And I'm gonna drag your ass through this conversation, Mr. Homeowner.
You will sell me your house.
In fact, I'm gonna push your ass through this thing as fast as possible.
Right, it's not good.
Yeah. You got to slow down a little bit, connect, be a little more, a little more vulnerable. Maybe is the right word. A little more human, I guess. But you know how to do that too. But so, good job though. Great job. So y'all want to switch roles and go back and forth the other way?
Yeah.
Sure.
Right, let's do it. All right. I'll leave you to it. You guys want to set up a scenario or anything before you ring?
Are we gonna do it in the middle again?
Yeah, you want to just jump right into the closing?
Yeah.
Okay, let's jump right into the closing because I think you got the agenda and the qualification and the bonding. That's you got that too. You understand that pretty good, and are proficient there. It's the closing where you get the stalls, the objections, and questions, and you end up going into not you but everyone goes into explainer mode, and so. Getting into the habit of asking these questions and tightening the rope, with the questions and tying them down step by step until you get a deal. That's really what I want to practice most because I think that's the strength. You know what I mean? So That's why. But if you want to start from scratch, Dre,
No, we're good.
do that. I'm cool with that. Okay.
All right. Okay. So Tim, I just want to make sure that I understand your situation.
Yeah.
You're looking to sell your property because you met the love of your life. Congratulations. And you're moving to Hawaii. Also, congratulations. So I understand that you're asking $300,000 for your property, and I think that's fair. Tim, if I were able to make you an offer today, that would get you to Hawaii, and you wouldn't have to pay any more of these mortgage payments. Would you be ready to do business with me today, or probably not?
Yeah, I think so. I guess I'm a little confused. So are you buying the place or you're not buying the place?
Like I said, Tim, I am a real estate investor looking to buy my next property. So yes, I'm not buying it personally. My company is purchasing the property, but we would be leasing the property before we bought it. So would you be open to collecting monthly payments until we were able to pay you off in full, or no?
Yeah. I'm definitely open to that. I think that I'm confused though. You said in your text message that you wanted to rent the place, and now you're saying you're not, like, you're going to lease it out.
Sure. No. Tim, you're asking a great question. So one, I appreciate that, and two, if there's anything else that I can clear up, please feel free to let me know. But basically, like I said, I'm a real estate investor. And I've got a bunch of tenants that essentially want to live in a beautiful house like yours, but they just don't have the money to put down, and so they essentially pay us for that service. Now, does that sound like something that you'd be interested in?
Okay, yeah, I think so. Now, like we said earlier, this was off of Zillow. Like, I have it listed for sale. If I go ahead and sign this paperwork, or we do something today, am I going to be stuck with not being able to sell my house though?
Well, no. So this is a non-exclusive contract, so very flexible. So essentially, if you were able to find a buyer before I'm able to find a buyer, we can part as friends, and I'll say congratulations again, and no harm, no foul. But if I was able to find you a buyer and you liked that person, then we would have a deal.
Okay. Well, yeah, that seems fair. Yeah,
that's fair, right?
Yeah, it does.
So,
okay.
So is there anything else that would stop you from getting a deal done today?
I don't think so. I guess the one thing I'm wondering is why do they need your company? Like, why can't they just sign a doc? Like, why can't they just do this with me?
Well, yeah, that's a great question, Tim. Are you interested in real estate investing?
No, I'm not an investor.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that is my profession. So I'm an expert at that, and that's what I do. So, but if that's something that you're interested in, I would welcome you to seek out the buyers and vet them yourself, and make sure that they're paying on time. But if that's something that you're not interested in, that's something that I have a lot of expertise in.
What was the question again? What was the question, Tim?
The question was, why would a potential home buyer want to use your company? Why wouldn't they just get a house? Like, why would they need you?
Oh yeah, because they don't qualify for the loan yet, right?
Yeah.
Okay, right. They're going to need some time to qualify for the loan. What I want to do is I want to put some good people in here, and yeah, I'm going to make a little money. I'm going to help them with the service that we provide that allows them to get into a home like this. And I also want this to be a win for you. Is that a deal breaker or not?
I see. Oh, no. Just was wondering. Yeah.
Okay. Very streamlined, very, very pithy.
I had somebody ask me that yesterday. They said, well, why do they need you?
Yeah.
But anyway, okay.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, does that sound like something that you'd be interested in, Tim, or would that not work for you?
No, I'm definitely interested. I like what you're saying, and it seems all very fair. I guess my concern was I didn't want to be locked in. If somebody comes and gives me 300,000 cash tomorrow, I don't want to. I don't want to be stuck. But
Yeah, certainly.
I think we covered all that, so I like it.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. Fantastic, Tim. In that case, I will send you the agreements right after this call. And you take a look at it. Look at it with the missus. And if you like everything that you see and the numbers are right, and I give you a call at 7 o'clock this evening, what happens then?
Yeah, well, I mean, like you said, talk to the wife, and if we like it, then we'll go ahead and get things signed and get moving on the process. I guess, unless you had another idea. I mean, I don't know. What do you?
No, yeah, that sounds good to me. All right, fantastic.
Okay.
In that case, I'll
send great.
That agreement, and I will talk to you at 7. Sound good?
Yeah, that sounds great. Well, thanks for the call. I appreciate your time, and I'll speak to you soon.
Sounds good. Bye-bye, Tim.
All right. Thanks, Dre. Bye.
All right. That was good. You did good, man. Overall, I would give you an A for sure.
Well, thank you. Yeah. The explainer mode. It's very helpful. It's actually good because I think the beginning stuff and actually the rapport building I'm getting better at, but definitely the closing. So it's helpful just to jump in the middle and catch up.
Yeah. Without any warm up or anything, man. I mean, just right into the closing. It's a different kind of communication. It's a different type of forming your thoughts. Mm-hmm. And remembering to form, like Jeopardy, your answers in the form of a question, and refusing just the unmitigated gall is what Claude Diamond calls it, to just refuse to present. I refuse to pitch to you like I'm some kind of salesman until you tell me what you're willing to buy. Until you're willing to tell me what you're willing to sign. I'm not going to try to song and dance over here. Oh, it's wonderful. Here's what I do. It's great. It's awesome. These are the people that I work with. Oh, I would have gone into explainer mode right there had I not known better. And you did great too, Dre. Because he was trying to pull you into explainer mode, but you pulled back away and got right back into question mode, which is awesome expertise. When he was asking why does the tenant buyer, why do these people need you? You could have been like, oh, well, yeah, they need me because, see, their credit's not so great right now. They're working on a home loan, and we've sent them to a mortgage guy, and they need time. They're good people. They just usually just have a ding on their credit, from a medical bill or something. But, they've got great rental history, and, like this is some kind of job interview. You're talking your way out of the thing, man. They're coming up with all kinds of freaky scenarios now in their mind about who the fuck these people really are. And, like, are they on crack? And are they going to murder my neighbors because I still like them? I'm serious. They watch TV too, right? So explainer mode is the death of sales in this department because you will never pitch your way into a situation where they are extremely comfortable. I mean, you're not that good. I'm not that good, right? It's not like I'm not doing an infomercial here. I can't do that. So great job, man, asking them questions. Practice this, guys, when you can with other people unawares, okay? Just throughout the day when people are asking you questions, answer them with a question. When the wife, I'll give you an example. The wife says, "Hey, what would you like for dinner tonight?" That's a great question, honey. What sounds good to you? You see what I'm doing? I'm just practicing. Okay, I'm practicing. Sometimes that works and sometimes it don't. on that, but anyway, well, that's it. We've practiced for 4 days, guys. What do you think?
Yeah. This has been tremendous, man. I feel like, so I've only been doing this for really lease options just a couple of weeks, but I feel like I've gotten so much, I feel like I've talked to 50 sellers in these calls because a lot of times you talk to a seller and it goes doesn't go right or whatever, and then you walk away, and then you just try to wait for the next lead and do something differently, right? And you give your own self feedback, right? But then when you have a group of people that can not only watch you and judge you, but critique you and support you, that, I mean, it's super beneficial.
And you're willing to go through the risk of embarrassment. You didn't embarrass yourself.
Well, I mean, the thing is,
the risk was there.
Yeah. But like doing this right here, this call for me makes calling a seller. That's going to make that easier, right? So if I can, put myself out there in this sort of situation, it's going to be easier to put myself out there, like calling a seller. Like and like someone like you, Justin, you're not afraid to call a seller or be apprehensive, right? Whereas I think someone that's just starting, at least for myself, like I know I have to get myself, in the right zone to like, all right, I'm gonna sit down and call some people. So just doing this makes that when I have to get into the zone, just less and less and less until it's just like I'm just gonna call someone, right? And then
I can say for myself that I was a bit skeptical, to be honest, about the patter and the way the conversations would go. I thought like, well, this is all good, but I don't know if it's necessarily the way it goes. No, that's how they sound. Like oftentimes, that's in like the short time I've been doing it. But the calls go kind of just this way. It's pretty incredible. And
that's funny. So you thought we were kind of like just like giving you the highlights or something?
I don't know about that. It's just like I don't know. I guess it's just a little bit of disbelief that maybe it was so.
You. I agree.
Yeah,
there's a lot of that shit out there.
Oh yeah, well, it's been helpful too because oftentimes on the other sort of calls that we have, we get distracted with lead gen and other very important parts. But to have dedicated practice to this is really, really nice.
Yeah,
that's great. Well, thank you, fellas, for participating. And Mark,
thank you, Justin.
There too. Genghis Khan was here yesterday. We missed you yesterday too, Tim. But anyway, thanks for participating, guys. You've made it a lot of fun for me. And we'll see you again, I guess, next time. Go.
Hey, thanks for everything, Justin. Yeah. Appreciate you. Have a great weekend, guys.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, thanks. You too.
Enjoy your weekend a little bit too. And tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central, we got a podcast again. So I'll see you in the Zoom room then. Okay.
All right.
Bye-bye.
See you guys.